Welcome to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Wes the Economist and Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist, coming to you live from the Wave Beach Realty Studios in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Call us today at 843-957-3872. All right, guys, welcome back into the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Wes the Economist. I am Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist, back for our Quick Clip Series, Season 3, Episode 17. What do we got today, Wes?
I have something to share with you that happened to me on Friday.
Okay.
So I'm not going to play all this. I'll fade it out at some point, but let's listen in to a national broadcast for a second to see. Oh, got to go back and do that again. That didn't work right. So we'll do this and we'll share the sound. And here we go.
Let me take Wes, who is an insider on our VIP line, who's been holding for a while. Wes, thank you so much for holding. How can I help you?
Hey, Glenn, thank you. We've been listening since 2001. I appreciate all that you do.
Wow.
Now, Wes, the Economist on
Thank
the
you.
Insider track. Jason's been great. We love it. Thank you for doing that for us.
Yeah, we had to give him to somebody that would appreciate him.
He's been wonderful. We love him. We love him.
I know, he's great. Yeah, thank you.
My thought is these sleeper cells are already here. It's like we just ignore that. They're going to activate at some point. We've had them here for years, a lot more the last few years as the borders have been open. The question becomes, do we wait to Iran to activate them, or do we push them into the light and try to deal with them on our terms?
So which do you think we're doing?
With what we're doing, our attacks in the Middle East, I think we're pushing them into the light.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, a lot of people will say that, they're only active now because we've pushed them into the light. And that was a big mistake. I mean, if you've been listening since the beginning of the show, I did a monologue at in the first hour that, I compared radical Islamism, not radical, just Islamism, with cancer. And when you
So the dollars and cents have gone national. What do you think?
I like it. Look at you becoming man's got a book out. He's going on book tours. He's on shows.
Oh yeah, I do have the book out. What's the book out?
Look at you now.
I'll include the full clip. It's like 6 minutes at the end of this quick clip to see if y'all want to see it. But yeah, the book is out. Here it is.
Dang.
No, I actually was on hold for over an hour just to get on for that few seconds. What you heard me talk is all I got to talk. But he kept me on because this was part of his show on Friday, talking about what we're doing, and he went through the whole idea of let me make this clear. We're not talking about Muslims in general. We're not talking about even radical Muslims at this point. We're talking about Muslims who are getting political inside the United States, who are bringing political theory, thought into our politics and expecting our Constitution to become subservient to what they think it should be as life. And so that he's looking at a very specific part of the religion. He's not looking at the whole religion. And he's not looking at the religion itself. He's looking at the part of the religion that's becoming political. And we see that in New York City. We see it in Dearborn, Michigan. I actually watched another clip. I don't know if you saw it a few months ago from the guy who was upset that they named a street after a Muslim leader there who had helped Al-Qaeda. And the mayor literally told him that he was not welcome in his city anymore, and he'll have a parade when the guy moves out. And the mayor was Muslim. So again, he's talking about a specific thing that's going on.
Yeah.
So have you been following this at all? What's been going on?
I've been following some of the stuff with like the attacks, and I know one of the extremists that did one of the attacks. I can't remember if it was the Michigan or the Texas or which one it was, but he had been in prison already once he had an 11-year sentence, got released after 8 for, I guess he was giving information to ISIS.
Yeah.
And so we keep him here. We put him in jail. We let him out early on good behavior and just assume that that's going to be the end of his radicalism.
Was he in there for 8 years?
I want to say he was there 8 of 11 is what I thought I heard.
Okay. I think that's the Old Dominion shooter you're talking about.
That might have been Old Dominion, yeah. But it's still either
It
way.
doesn't matter where he's at, but he still got
It's
out
like why
early.
would you not immediately when their prison term's up, why would you let somebody like that stay here? They gave terrorists information to help terror attacks.
Yeah.
Why would you say, all right, you served your 8 years, go out and I'm sure you're not going to do it again? Just what? What other country? He'd be dead in any other country.
Yeah.
If we had somebody in another country trying to give information to the United States and we got caught, they would have killed us in prison. If we were to do that in Russia or anywhere else, they would have been dead. It would have never served 8 years and got out on good behavior. It's crazy.
It is. It really is. And I'm afraid it's going to get worse. I
Oh, for
mean,
sure, it's gonna
I
get worse.
saw New York City. What's going on in New York City scares me. Not for me personally, but just for our country. We've seen it in small towns already, where we've seen again political ideology trying to take over that does not mix with Constitution. And in New York City, it seems to be the same way. So the whole my whole thought he talked about sleeper cells some on the show that day. I was actually driving back from Florida when this was on for my vacation, and he mentioned sleeper cells, but my whole thought was, and that's the reason I called in was, everybody's worried about these sleeper cells becoming active. That doesn't make sense to me. Why don't we just worry about the sleeper cells being here? Because if they're here, they're going to be active at some point. They're going to
Right.
go ahead and what my idea on the when I was talking to him was, do we wait for the leadership in the Middle East to activate them and give them their marching orders, or do we try to push them out of hiding so that we can deal with them now on our terms? Now, it's still
Mhm.
going to cause pain. It's still going to be not a pleasant thing, but at the end of the day, they're still here. They have plans to hurt us in the future.
And it's gonna be you're gonna see it happen more. There's gonna be a lot of it this year. It's gonna keep on happening. They're still working out kinks and doing dry runs for stuff with planes. They're going back to, I've heard they're trying to get back to shoe bombs and some of that stuff. So, I mean, they're trying out a bunch of different things and doing these dry runs. And then when they figure out what works, it's gonna go into full activation mode. So, and I'm under the, I'm one of the just find them and, if even if it costs pain, get them taken care of sooner than later. Because the longer they're sleeper cells and the more time and planning they have, the better and the more destruction they can cause. So I'm under the mindset of let's find them quicker, even if it results in something bad happening temporarily. I'd rather it be something smaller because they didn't have full time to plan and we started chasing them while they were planning over. We wait till it all happens and then, deal with what's going on in Iran and everything else. I'm more under the mindset of let's just deal with it now, and not kick the
I
can
agree.
down the road.
Just be proactive instead of reactive.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
that's what we've been doing for the last 20 years. It's just, and even then, when we react, we don't really react. It makes sense sometimes because again, this stuff is here. We've allowed it to be here. Let's just forget. Let's not blame. I mean, obviously, we know who to blame, but if it's the time of blame is over, we got to do something about it now. And that's
Right.
what I don't think people understand. I don't think people, and the whole thing going on in the Middle East as we talk, I don't think people understand it either. I hear so many people saying, "Well, it's just evil Trump. You see, he's trying to take power. He wants to be in rule of the world." Da, da, da. They don't stop to think about what's happened the last 50 years that has put us in this situation.
Right.
And if we kick the can on down the road, like you said, the next president, I don't care if the next president's Republican or Democrat, they're not going to do anything about it.
Right. Correct. Yeah. It doesn't matter. We've been fighting this battle, like you said, for the last 50 years. This has been an ongoing thing, and we're not any closer to stopping it or slowing it down than we were, pre 2001 or, post 2001 or, since we started ramping up on terrorism after that happened. We're not any closer to, solving it. I mean, so something's got to be done. I don't care if we triple our efforts. We got to do something to because they're here, they're ready to go. They're just biding time and finding the right time to make these attacks and
Yeah.
practicing and training. And we're just I'm sure the government's watching some of them, but it's like why are we just sit around and wait? It's the biggest. I don't understand that mindset of just sit around and wait and then we'll figure it out when it happens. I just
Well, I think it comes back to interpretation of the law, and this is something I don't understand either. Um, yes, we need to obey the Constitution. Yes, we need to make sure everything's done by the law. But when people are here that are not subject to our laws, they're here illegally. They're not really going through the process. the big argument is, do they still get all constitutional rights? And people on the left would say, yes, they get full constitutional rights because they're on our soil. Well, I'm in the mindset, if you never pledged allegiance to the Constitution, you've never taken it as your law, then I don't think you get the protections under it. You're not a citizen. Now, at the same time, we don't take away human rights. I mean, those are natural. I mean, we're not going to torture people and do that kind of stuff by no means. But this using the law to get them out of prison early or to get them make sure they don't have any prison time at all, I just don't understand it.
It's crazy. Yeah, I don't understand it either. Honestly, if it saves lives, I don't care if they open Guantanamo back up. Personally,
Hadn't closed yet, has it?
I don't think that they're, well, I don't think they're doing what they were doing there.
Oh, no, I don't think so. When I was doing research for a friend of mine who didn't understand January 6th, I was doing some research to give them some information on the stuff they hadn't heard. And I came across this one article because I knew the living arrangements in Washington, D.C. were terrible. The prisons are in just bad shape. But I came across this article where the inmates were begging to be sent to Guantanamo because they felt like it'd be better down there than it was in Washington, D.C.
Probably.
So, all right, let's take a break right here and we'll be right back.
Yep.
When life gets unpredictable, turn to a partner you can trust. At Bobby Clary State Farm, we've got you covered. Whether it's home, auto, or life insurance, we're dedicated to providing personalized coverage that fits your needs. With our friendly and knowledgeable team, navigating your insurance options have never been easier. Visit bobbyclary.com or call 843-438-6000. Bobby Clary State Farm, here to help life go right.
All right. Well, now it's officially time to introduce my book, Econ Sense, Economics for Everyday Living. You can actually find it by going to my website, econsense.us. If you go there, you'll see there are links to Amazon where you can pick it up, just a paperback, or if you'd rather have the ebook, you can go to Innovative Ink Publishing in care of Kendall Hunt Publishing Company, where you can get the print or ebook. And while you're on that website, you can also check out my other podcast, Econ Sense, which I have several different series that go by. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Email me at west.the.economist@gmail.com, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks for listening to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and X at DollarsCentsGS and on Facebook at Dollars and Cents.
Okay, welcome back in. We're going to close this quick clip out by attaching the full interview I had with Glenn. It wasn't an interview, really. I just talked. That's all I talked. But you can hear his answer, too, about the shales that are here in the country. And we will see you next time.
Let me take Wes, who is an insider on our VIP line, who's been holding for a while. Wes, thank you so much for holding. How can I help you?
Hey, Glenn, thank you. We've been listening since 2001. I appreciate all that you do.
Wow.
Now, Wes, the Economist on
Thank
the
you.
Insider track. Jason's been great. We love it. Thank you for doing that for us.
Yeah, we had to give him to somebody that would appreciate him.
He's been wonderful. We love him. We love him on the
I know he's
Insiders.
great. Yeah, thank you.
My thought is these sleeper cells are already here. It's like we just ignore that. They're going to activate at some point. We've had them here for years, a lot more than the last few years as the borders have been open. The question becomes, do we wait to Iran to activate them, or do we push them into the light and try to deal with them on our terms?
So which do you think we're doing?
With what we're doing, our attacks in the Middle East, I think we're pushing them into the light.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, a lot of people will say that, they're only active now because we've pushed them into light. And that was a big mistake. I mean, if you've been listening since the beginning of the show, I did a monologue at in the first hour that, I compared radical Islamism, not radical, just Islamism, with cancer and when you want to take it out. And, I can't speak for the president, but I do know this. He promised that he would not play footsie with Iran during his when he in 2014. Do we happen to still have that cut from earlier this week? We found a cut from, I think, 2014 where he was talking about Iran and said, I'm not going to put up with it. I'm taking them out. They will not have a nuclear weapon. Well, you'll notice we didn't go to war with Iran back then. You have it? Go ahead and play it. Here he is, 2014.
I will stop Iran from getting nuclear weapons, and we won't be using a man like Secretary Kerry that has absolutely no concept of negotiation, who's making a horrible and laughable deal, who's just being tapped along as they make weapons right now.
So he tried negotiation during his first term, and he tried negotiation this time. But I will tell you that in guessing, I'm not justifying, I'm guessing what the president is thinking, and it's a fairly educated guess. I've talked to him long enough over the years to know the only thing that really truly scares him is nuclear war. That terrifies him. He believes that once one missile is launched, we're in full-fledged nuclear war that is madness. So that is the only thing I've ever seen him recoil from and be frightened of. The second thing is he operates on his terms, and he is a very good planner. He puts everything in order. And while he's been negotiating with the rest of the world, particularly the Middle East. This would look very different had he just gone in and not laid the groundwork of the Abraham Accords and then come in and had the Council of Peace. Had he not made the Arab world have peace with Israel, and tried to normalize things, if he hadn't have taken out and hit the first strike that he did and showed the strength there, and then showed the strength in taking and really harming Hezbollah and Hamas, if he hadn't have done all those things, this war would look much different than it is right now. It would have been a nightmare. Warning, it still may be a nightmare. But he's putting everything in place. And he told me before he got into office, I said, can you do all these things? We weren't even talking about this. We were talking about the whole picture. And I said, are you going to be able to get this done in 4 years? He laughed at me. He said, Glenn, I don't have 4 years. I have 2. I have 2 years before the midterms come. And there's a possibility that we lose the midterms. And so I have to have all of it done in 2 years. So that's why he has been moving at such a breakneck speed on all of this stuff, because he knows the system had to be changed if we were actually going to change America. We can play with the Fed rate and everything else. We can play with that all day long. But if you really want to change the world and change the direction of the country and fix and get out of this, we're just going to slowly watch our nation fade away. He had to change the big things, and this was one of them. And so while it's not on anybody's list to start a war with Iran and have terror attacks here, I think you're exactly right. I think, Wes, that we are doing it on his time now. He knows we're going to have to face it, and might as well face it while he has 2 more years left in office, because, we just found out last hour, I asked the question, how did this guy who was in jail for aiding ISIS, he was supposed to be in jail for 11 years. My question was, when was he released early from prison? And he was released by Biden. So, now is the time to take care of this, because at least this guy will fight it. And like cancer, don't let it get stronger any more than it already is.
Are you looking to buy a home in North or South Carolina? You need to reach out to Wave Beach Realty today. We are a family-owned company with over 10 years of experience in North and South Carolina and operate along the Grand Strand. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872.
Mortgage payment, insurance payments, credit card payments, they can be very overwhelming. Are you ready to take the time to get things under control? Then reach out to me at Clark Financial Coaching to see if we can get you started with a budget and then a vision for the future. Write me at coachwestc@gmail.com. That's coachwestc@gmail.com.
Looking to buy a property in North or South Carolina and need financing assistance? Give Motto Mortgage Coastal Pros a call today. We specialize in residential loans in both North and South Carolina and can meet all your residential home loan needs. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872. Thanks for listening to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to send us your topics and give us feedback at dollarscentsgs@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and X at dollarscentsgs. You can follow us on Facebook at Dollars and Cents. Listen to us on the podcast format at Dollars and Cents Podcast, and you can also find us on YouTube at the Dollars and Cents Podcast.